Hi all. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's intra-workout nutrition. If you followed me at all, you know I've been a proponent of it for nearly 20 years, and specifically high molecular weight carbohydrates since about 2006 with the introduction of waxy maize. My biggest problem with intra-workout nutrition has been the ratio of protein to carbohydrates. I don't like the ratio most companies have, and so a lot of times I've had to just recommend clients get the ingredients separately and mix them themselves. Well, this has the exact ratio I want, which is, for me, about 10 grams of protein from amino acids per every 25 grams of carbohydrates. Now, what makes up those amino acids and carbohydrates? Well, we know you need the essential amino acids, because if you want protein synthesis, all 20 amino acids have to be present at the site of protein synthesis, and 9 of those are the essential amino acids, which have to come from the diet. The problem is that, what's the trigger for protein synthesis? Well, that's actually one of the branched chain amino acids, which is L-leucine, which also happens to be an essential amino acid. So what we did is we combined all the essential amino acids with a little bit additional extra branched chain amino acids to make sure we get enough L-leucine to stimulate protein synthesis. And so now we know high molecular weight carbohydrates are great, but what's the problem? What's a problem with them? Well, one of the problems is something called dumping syndrome. The way high molecular weight carbohydrates work is they just kind of pull everything. They have such a high molecular weight, low osmolarity, they pull everything through the gut into the small intestine where nutrients are absorbed. The problem with that is they also pull water with it. And so when you're drinking a lot of food in a workout, all that water can quickly enter the small intestine and then the colon and cause the aptly named dumping syndrome. And so the way we've worked around that is we have a small amount of dextrose, which is just glucose, has a lower molecular weight, and actually kind of reduces some of that water pooling into the stomachs that allows you to take a higher dose of this without running into dumping syndrome. In addition, we have some other ingredients like taurine, potassium, zinc, but importantly we have sodium from Himalayan pink sea salt. And why sodium? Well, we're trying to use this to store glycogen to bring nutrients to the muscle. And glycogen is actually 4 parts water and 1 part glucose. So we got everything here you need. You know, you got your carbohydrates, the highly branched cyclodextrins, which are large clusters of dextrose, and your water in the drink. But what's the carrier for glycogen? That's actually sodium. And you'll notice that when you take this with the additional sodium, your pumps will be dramatically increased because of that rapid transport of the glycogen. Now, highly branched cyclodextrins, something I don't see talked about is why they're so special. And so what they are is cyclodextrins actually have like a toroid structure. And so they kind of look like this, like a little cone, I guess. And what's cool about them is on the outside, they're hydrophilic. Well, what does that mean? Hydrophilic means it dissolves in water. So the inside here isn't necessarily hydrophobic, but it's significantly less hydrophilic. So compared to the outside, it is hydrophobic. And so what happens is things can get trapped in there. And what does that mean? This thing that's trapped in there is now transported at the same rate as this larger thing's mixed into solution. And what's beneficial about that? Well, the things that can get trapped in there all have a higher osmolarity and a lower molecular weight, meaning they don't get into the bloodstream as quickly, or don't get into the small intestine, things like amino acids. And so by mixing the two together, the amino acids can get trapped inside there, and then this gets dissolved in water as one cluster group with the high molecular weight and passes really quickly through the gut into the small intestine where it can get into the blood barrier and then get taken up to the muscles. And so if you're into intra-workout nutrition, which if you're into bodybuilding, you should be into intra-workout nutrition, you're not going to find a better product on the market.